Just a reminder to vote in this week's Locals poll, where you decide what deck I take to Locals every single week. Without any further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another deck profile, and for today we have Untitled. So, without any further ado, here's a screenshot of what the deck looks like on paper, and then we'll get into the profile. Alright, so starting off with the monsters, we're running triple Picari Untitled. So this is one of the ones that you want to see in your starting hand, if at all possible. On summon, it lets you summon or search a Untitled spell or trap. And then it also has an effect for level modulation for Xyz plays. Next, we're also running triple Doyon. So Doyon, when someone lets you get a monster back from your graveyard to your hand, and then recurs a in-archetype spell or trap when used as link material. Next is triple Bururu. So this one's a Foolish Burial on summon, and summons the other monster back from the graveyard when used as synchro material. And this is one of the other ones that you want to see as soon as possible, and this one's a Chi-Chi. Okay, so on summon, this one is a, it's basically a searcher for a monster, and it does have a grave effect, but that's only used with Fire Phoenix, so we're not really going to go into that right now. Next, I'm also running triple Doshin, just as an extender, so that way we can have different attributes for Dark Templar and the Arrival. And we can search the fusion with it, but it's mainly just as an extender so we can go into our link 3. And following that exact same logic, we're running 3 Hiyari. Again, just another extender, another attribute. Although we are running the ritual as well, it's mainly for that extender for link material. We are running 1 Donyuribo as well. Typically, you want to Foolish Burial this, so that way you can use its grave effect if you summon Fire Phoenix. That's mainly what it's used for. I am also running 1 copy of the Ritual. Ritual is actually pretty good. When you summon it, it bounces everything with 2300 or less attack back to your opponent's hand, and then during damage calc, it cuts your opponent's monster's attack in half. So I think it's pretty good. Just kind of also as a bridge to the spells, I am running 1 copy of the Ritual spell as well. So there's that. Next, moving on to spells and traps. In full swing, we have 3 copies of Ignister Island. All right, the deck lives and breathes by this field spell. Okay, so basically, as long as you don't have anything in your main monster zone, you can spell summon an Ignister from your hand, and you can do it multiple times per turn as long as you're summoning monsters with different attributes. Then the field spell can also get itself back from the graveyard by banishing an Ignister from your grave. Next is triple I Meet You. All right, so you reveal an Ignister in your extra deck, and you get to add a monster with that same attribute from your deck to your hand. Only drawback is that if you don't summon the revealed monster, then you take 2300 damage. But well worth it. So this is definitely a 3 of. Next, I'm running 1 copy of Eye Contact. This way we can have multiple copies of the field spell. 1 on field, 1 in hand. Reveal it, place them on the bottom of the deck, draw 3 cards. I pulled this off just about every game or so. Or I pulled it off once every match for sure. But I think in one of the matches, I pulled it off in both games when I 2-0'd. I think it was against the Albaz player. But yeah, I really like running this card. Just a personal favorite of mine. Next, we're running 2 of the Fusion spell. So this is for, of course, the Fusion monster. And you can also use a Link monster on your opponent's field as material. So I did use that some. Really nice there. Next is triple Idol Reborn. This is a double Idol Reborn. This is a quick play Reborn spell, so you can use it during either turn. That's basically all we use it for. We don't really use the grave effect. Next is Double Tie Strike. So during damage calc, you can make your Ad Ignister's monster attack equal to your opponent's monsters, and then banish it from the grave to prevent your monster from being destroyed. And then, if both of these effects were used in the same turn, then when your opponent's monster gets destroyed, they take damage equal to its attack. So this is a nice little cheese card there, but I really like to use it to prevent my Ad Ignisters from being destroyed by battle. We are running one Fighting Spirit. It's just another extender. It's basically a Monster Reborn for an Ad Ignister. I'm also running one U and I just for more advantage. So it has different effects based on what attribute of Ad Ignister you summon. I'm not really going to go into the effects. I mean, you guys can probably read it on the screen there. I'm not going to go into it because we don't typically use this one all that much, but it can come up. Next, just some of the more auxiliary spells. I'm running one Foolish Burial Goods to dump Tie Strike, and I'm also running one Signet Mining. So, and I know some people aren't going to like that, but the reason I'm only running one is because I don't really feel like I need any more. I mean, we're already running 3 Achichi and 3 I Meet You. So I feel like having triple Signet Mining would just be kind of overkill, so I'm only running one of it. Then finally, for the traps, we have I Challenge You and I Shadow. Basically, your opponents lose 100 attack for each card you control, and then they can't activate cards or effects when you're Ad Ignister monster battles. This one gives an Ad Ignister 800 attack, and your opponent's monsters must attack it. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. Now going to the extra deck. So starting off, we got double Lingeribo. So this is just, you know, a nice little way to have protection against traps. That's basically what that's for. Right now, I'm only running one Dark Infant. And the reason for that is because, again, since we're already running 3 copies and 3 Picari, I just feel like I don't need more than one. And, I mean, it's served me very well. So, don't see any reason to really change that. Next is 3 Dark Templar. Now, I know some people are going to be mad about this too, but Dark Templar is your main playmaker for the deck, okay? This is your main guy. So, I want to have as many copies of it as possible just because if one gets stopped, oh, I'll summon a second one. Oh, if that one gets stopped, I'll summon the third one. That way we're not just completely crippled by one interruption. Because he is the main guy in the deck. So I'm running 3 of them. Next, running 2 Fire Phoenix. This one is kind of like a tertiary win condition, I would say. So with this one, you can, depending on how you use some of the other effects in the deck, you can either inflict a lot of effect damage or use it as spot removal. Rounding out the Link monsters, we are playing one The Arrival. So when this is basically a towers, it's unaffected by everything. And we typically summon this with 4,000 attack, so some decks have a hard time getting over this. And then it also has a destruction effect once per turn. Next, Double Light Dragon. This is my personal favorite extra deck Ad Ignister. It's non-targeting destruction removal, and it can also protect your other Ad Ignisters from being destroyed by card effects by detaching a material. Really nice there. Next is Wind Pegasus. Spell and trap removal, non-targeting. Enough said. It does also have a graveyard effect where you can spin stuff back if something else gets destroyed, but that usually doesn't come up very often. And rounding out the extra deck, we have double Earth Golem Ad Ignister. So we can use our opponent's Link monsters to get this, and then of course, when it battles something from the extra deck, its attack becomes doubled. So it rises up to 4,600. And then when it gets destroyed by battle, you get to special summon a different Cyberse in your grave. So kind of helps you recover in that sense. So yeah, that's it for the card by card. So we'll shuffle up and we'll do some test hands. All right, let's see what we get. Bururu. Ooh, Water Leviathan. Not what we wanted to see in our opening hand. Doyon. Idol Reborn. And Picari. Okay, so this is what we would be starting out with. So I'm going to do one going first hand and one going second hand. Typically, if I get the choice, I'll go second. So we'll go ahead and draw a 6th card, and we'll emulate a going second hand first, and then we'll do a going first hand. So our 6th card is, okay, Ignister Island. Okay, so what we would do with this is, of course, we'd go ahead and start off activating Ignister Island. Then we'd activate the effect. Since we control no monster in our main monster zone, we can spell summon an Ignister from our hand. We'll go ahead and get Picari. Alright? Now we can no longer special summon lights with Island's effect. We'll activate Picari's effect on summon to search an AI spell or trap. So we're going to go for, if I can find it right quick, we're going to do one of my favorite combos, being Eye Contact. Alright, so we've got Eye Contact now. Then we're going to link off the Picari for Dark Infant. And we'll go ahead and use its effect to search for another copy of the field spell. There we go. All right. So now we've thinned out our deck. We've got 2 copies of the field spell and Eye Contact. We are ready to roll. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and activate Eye Contact. So what we're going to do is, since we have Ignister Island in our field zone, we're going to reveal the one that's in our hand to our opponent. Then, if they have no response, we place it on the bottom of the deck and draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Could be better, but could be worse. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and activate Ignister Island's effect. So, since we control no monsters in our main monster zone, we're going to go and special summon Bururu from our hand. Bururu's effect will activate, getting us a Foolish Burial. Since we already have a Doyon in hand, we're going to go ahead and dump Donyaribo. So we're going to get rid of the Donyaribo. Alright. Now here's where those extenders I was talking about earlier comes in. So we're going to activate Hiyari in hand. Special summon it since we control an Ignister. Then we're going to link for 3. For our main guy, Dark Templar. Now, best part about this is we still haven't even normal summoned yet. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we actually have 2 options depending on what our opponent has. But I'm going to do one combo because the other combo that I could do for going second is also what I usually do going first. So we're going to do the other one for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate Ignister Island. We're going to use its effect to special summon Doyon to the zone that Templar points to. Now, we get 2 effects here. So the first, we're going to activate Dark Templar's Chainlink 1 and Doyon Chainlink 2. Okay? So Chainlink 2 resolves first. We get an Ignister back from our graveyard to our hand. Alright, so we're just going to use this. We're going to get Hiyari back to our hand. Alright? Then Chain Link 1, Dark Templar will resolve. We're going to get our Picari and our Bururu back, and their effects are negated. Alright, so their effects are negated. So we're going to go ahead and tune 3 plus 4 for a Synchro 7 Mr. Wing Pegasus. Bururu's effect will activate. We get to special summon the Doyon back to the field, since it was used as synchro material. Next, we're going to overlay these two for Light Dragon. Now, this is very, very almost identical to what I did against the Albaz player. I OTK'd him in Game 2. So this is almost exactly what happened, almost. That's actually kind of scary now that I'm thinking about it. But so what we would do from here is we go ahead and activate Pegasus. We can destroy up to 3 spells or traps since we control 3 Adignisters. And we could also do it with Light Dragon, but for monsters. So then what we would do from here is we would go to battle. So we swing in with Dark Templar for 23. Light Dragon's effect activates. Since a different Cyrus monster inflicts battle damage, we can special summon a Link monster from our graveyard. So that's going to give us the Dark Infant back. So we've already dealt 23. We'll do another 23. Another 23. All right, so 23 times 3, that's 66, plus 5. So that's 7,100 damage. Dang. 900 life points off. If only there was a way we could... Oh, wait! Still in battle phase. Idle Reborn. Bring back a monster. Boom. Because usually what I always do is when I use Light Dragon is I detach Picari. So then in that case I would special summon Picari back with Idle Reborn, swing for 12, and it'd be an OTK. So yeah, that was a going second turn with Agnister. Now we'll shuffle back up and we'll do a going first board. Okay, so now we are going to do a going first scenario. So, okay, we've got Picari, that's good. Doshin, nice. Okay, another Picari, not bad. Doyon. Ooh, we got a Chi-Chi this time. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. A little different than what I'm used to, but we can work with this. So what we would do is we go ahead and normal summon a Chi-Chi. Alright, so on summon, its effect would activate to get us an Adignister monster from our deck to our hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and search for a Bururu, since we have one of our extenders and Picari already in hand. So we're going to search for Bururu. Alright. So then, we're going to link off for Dark Infant. Dark Infant's effect will activate, getting us a copy of the field spell. So now we're going to go digging for the field spell. Alright. So now, we're going to go ahead and activate the field spell. Use its effect, special summon a monster from our hand. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go and summon Picari. So off of Picari, what we're going to do is we're actually going to grab I Challenge You. Because remember, we're going first. So now what we're going to do is we're going to activate the effect of Doshin in hand. Since we control Adignister, we'll special summon it. Link 3. For, of course, Dark Templar. Then we'll activate Island's effect again. As long as it's not a light, we can do it. So just like last time, we're going to go for Bururu right here. Summon Bururu right there. Chainlink 1 Templar, Chainlink 2 Bururu. So we're going to, off of Bururu, we're just going to go ahead and dump Donyaribo, just like last time. And then off of Templar, we're going to summon back a Chi-Chi and Doshin. Like, honestly, for this particular combo, it doesn't matter which ones you do, as long as none of them are the same attribute. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For the Arrival Cybers, add a Nister with 4,000 attack. Alright. Now, we could actually extend farther here with Doyon, but we're not going to do that. So what we would do here is we would just go ahead and set the I challenge you face down. And then we would go ahead and end our turn. And the reason that I'm not going to go ahead and do this whole thing with Doyon is because, yeah, well, one, we already normal summoned. But also, I want to kind of save some of these resources so that way I can be a little more flexible if they have an out to the Arrival for some reason. So, what we would do is, during our opponent's turn, we'd go ahead and flip up I challenge you. Now all of their monsters lose 100 attack for each card I control, so they're all debuffed by 300. And then when this guy battles, he can't activate any cards or effects. And then if for some reason he was able to beat over this, we can summon back the Dark Templar from grave. Now, what I would do the following turn, and this is where Donyaribo comes in. So what I would do next turn is I would go ahead and use Island, summon Picari. Alright, Picari activate. I will get a spell or trap. So what we're going to get this time is we're going to get I Meet You. Alright. Then we're going to activate I Meet You, and we're going to reveal Fire Phoenix and add a Chi-Chi. Now, keep in mind, we have to summon Fire Phoenix, otherwise we will lose 2,300 life points. Alright? Now, so from there, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and normal summon hit the camera. So yeah, we're going to normal summon Doyon. And Doyon's effect will activate, targeting the Doshin in our graveyard, and we'll add it back to our hand. And then we'll special summon it with its own effect, since we control adding Mr. Monsters. We're going to link for 3. For, you guessed it, Fire Phoenix. Now, what we're going to do now is we would enter battle phase. Fire Phoenix would go in for the attack. Now, we have an optional effect here with a Chi-Chi, where if it battles, we can actually banish this and destroy Fire Phoenix. And because it was link summoned and then destroyed by a card effect, Fire Phoenix would activate, destroying a monster on the field. But we're not going to do that. We only do that if they're about to destroy our Fire Phoenix by battle. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to activate the effect of Fire Phoenix. All right, and I'm just going to read this verbatim here so that way we all don't misunderstand. So during damage calc, if this card attacks, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's attack, and then there's no battle damage. So this would be Chain Link 1. And what we would do is we would actually chain, the effect of Donyaribo in the graveyard as Chain Link 2. So we would banish it to double the effect damage, dealing 4,600 damage, and then go in with the Arrival. or vice versa. Either we do the Arrival first and then Fire Phoenix, or Fire Phoenix and then the Arrival. But either way, that would most likely be game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed these Attic Mister combos and deck profile. Vote in the weekly locals poll, so that way you decide what deck I take to locals in the future. And yeah, I'll see you next time.